NFL draft has come and gone, and here are my top 10 rookies for the 2025 fantasy football season. I'm Matty Kiwoon from South Harmon. I'm getting over one of the worst illnesses of my life. I've felt like absolute garbage all weekend, but you're not here for a health update. You're here to hear about my top 10 rookies for fantasy football. So let's get into it. At number 10 is the only tight end on today's list, Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. He was taken with the 10th overall pick by the Chicago Bears. He had 56 receptions last year, which set a single season record for the Michigan Wolverines. He had a 2.81 yards per route run, which really highlights the separation capabilities. And he had 11 career touchdowns, so he's a tight end that can find some pay dirt. He's got elite receiving skills. He's a pretty dynamic route runner for his size, 6'6", 250 pounds, and he's shown the ability to make plays after the catch. And now that he's got the draft capital, 10th overall selection, he's linking up with last year's number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, and you factor in the new head coach, offensive guru Ben Johnson. Colston Loveland has to be a later round sleeper at the tight end position for the 2025 NFL season. Coming in at number 9 is the wide receiver from the University of Texas, Matthew Golden. Golden was picked at 23 by the Green Bay Packers. Last year, he had 987 receiving yards. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it still led the SEC Texas Longhorns offense. He had a 59.1% deep target catch rate, which was one of the highest amongst the wide receivers in this year's class. And he had a 16.4% TD conversion rate. Again, one of the best numbers in this class. He's got elite speed, elite explosiveness, ran a 4.29 at combine just a couple months ago, and he's a pretty decent route runner. He's shown some versatility in the route running game, which I think will excel at the next level. I'm curious to see what his ADP ends up shaking out to be in fantasy football, but I'll be taking a couple shares because the home run ability, the sure-handedness, and the draft capital speaks volume. That's why Matthew Golden's number 9. The number 8 player on today's list is the wide receiver from Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Egbuka with the 19th overall selection. He had 81 receptions in 2024. He had a 2.17 yards per route run. Also added 10 touchdowns in 2024. One of the most polished route runners in the entire class. He's got strong hands. And he's got pretty good catch reliability. I mean, he's got a good catch radius. He's shown to have sure hands at high D1 program like Ohio State. And I like the way Egbuka kind of can play all over the place. He can play a little outside, a little inside. I think that's going to bring a lot of versatility, a lot of flexibility at the NFL level. Now, will I be super psyched to be taking him in 2025 fantasy football drafts? Maybe, but with everyone that's there, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin should be back, Bucky Irving, Rashad White's a pretty good pass catcher out of the backfield. Cade Otton came on here and there in 2024. So I don't know exactly where he's going to fit in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2025 pass catching hierarchy, but I like the player. I like the floor. He's someone I'll definitely have my eye on in 2025. Coming in at number 7 is the running back from Ohio State, Quinshon Judkins. He was selected in the 2nd round by the Cleveland Browns. He had great numbers at OSU last year, all while sharing the backfield with Travion Henderson, someone I'll talk about as we go along on this list. 5.5 yards per carry is a number we like to see. He graded well. He's an early breakout. We can remember the big numbers that he put up at Ole Miss as a freshman in the SEC. He's explosive. He's got good contact balance, pretty solid vision. I think he's got good patience, stuff that will help him at the next level. And due to the size, due to the abilities, I think he can carry a bit of a workhorse load. He could be on the field a ton for the Cleveland Browns, potentially even being a 3-down back. He's going to be a hot commodity in 2025, and for good reason, and that is why he made my top 10 list after the NFL draft. Okay, let's talk about the only quarterback that made my top 10. Cam Ward from the University of Miami. The Tennessee Titans made him the top overall selection in this year's draft. 4,313 passing yards last year, which led all FBS quarterbacks, 39 passing touchdowns, and he graded well, especially with throws over the middle. He showed to be able to he showed that he could put the ball in tight windows, especially over the middle of the field. That'll work wonders for him having any type of success at the NFL level. I like the arm talent. He's got pretty good deep ball accuracy. He showed a ton of poise under pressure at the collegiate level, and he's got those playmaking instincts. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say he's like Pat Mahomes. It's crazy. Anyone that can improv immediately becomes Mahomes. No, he's not that good, but I do believe he possesses enough to make plays at the NFL level, and that's why he had to make my top 10, and that's why he will be a mid to late round draft target for me in 2025, especially getting a bump in Superflex leagues. But Cam Ward had to make my top 10. I spoke about one of the Buckeye running backs. Now let's talk about the other, Travion Henderson. The New England Patriots selected him 38th overall to be their new running back. A nice little toy for Drake May to play with. A lot of people already worried about his status because Ramondre Stevenson and maybe even Tony Gibson could get in the way. Listen, new head coach Mike Vrabel, he's very familiar with Ohio State Buckeyes players, and he wasn't going to take him 38th overall if he wasn't ready to unleash the beast and use him to help the team and help Drake May in his development. Henderson last year, 7.1 yards per carry. We love that. He had 0 fumbles in 667 touches. Reliability. And the man is super, super explosive. One of the most explosive backs in this class with an 18.8% explosive run rate. He's got the burst acceleration. He's a good pass catcher. He's great in pass pro. It's only going to be a matter of time until he has every down capabilities for this Patriots team. He's going to be great for fantasy football, and that's why he made my top 10 list after the NFL draft. The next player that I'm going to talk about, I'll be honest, I wasn't super high on throughout the draft process, but after becoming the 8th overall selection by the Carolina Panthers, how can you not be a little bit excited for the Arizona wide receiver Teteroa McMillan? Over 1,300 receiving yards last year at Arizona. He had a 3.02 yards per team pass attempt, which is a number that really does stand out when you look at his analytical profile. And he's a 60% contested catch rate last year, 18 of 30. It's amongst one of the highest in the class, and it's what we like to see out of a big-bodied receiver that doesn't always get great separation. But he's going to come to the NFL with the prototypical X-receiver size and catch radius at 6'5", over 215 pounds. Pretty fluid, and I would say he's decent route running ability. It's pretty versatile game considering his size. And he does show a little bit of post-catch playmaking. And now he's going to be Bryce Young's unequivocal wide receiver one. Over 100, 120, maybe 130 targets are on the table, which is exactly why he has to be targeted in 2025 for fantasy football, and that's exactly why he made my top 10 list. All right, everybody, let's get inside the top 3, and let's get it going with Omarion Hampton, running back from UNC. Hampton was selected 22nd overall by the Los Angeles Superchargers. Last year, he had 1,660 rushing yards, over 1,200 of which came after contact. He's a bull of a running back coming in at 6 feet, 220 pounds, but he also has pretty good hands, and he showed the ability to make catches throughout his entire college career. Powerful runner, great contact balance. Like I said, got the size. He's got the breakaway ability. He's very bursty, very instinctive, good vision, kind of can hit the hole and hit it hard. But he's also pretty good sure-handed, and I think he's going to be able to capture a 3-down back eventually in the NFL. I know the Chargers just signed Najee Harris, so maybe initially it takes a little bit of time for him to get that role carved out. But once he does, he is going to be a massive, massive player in fantasy, and it could come as early as year 1. I mean, hit rates in fantasy football for first-round drafted running backs is awesome. So I'm not going to buck that trend. I'm not going to be too nervous about Najee Harris because Omarion Hampton is a beast. He's a great running back, and he went to a team that loves to hashtag establish it. That is why Omarion Hampton cracks the top 3 post NFL draft. It's time to talk about the reigning, defending Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter. The Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to the number 2 pick to make Hunter their selection. Last year, he had a monster season at Colorado. 96 receptions, 1,258 receiving yards, and 15 receiving touchdowns. Travis Hunter has elite ball skills, a preposterous catch radius. I mean, he can just catch everything. Some of the best hands and strongest hands I've really ever evaluated coming into the NFL. He's a dynamic route runner. He's versatile in his game and how he wins. Elite playmaking, absurd athleticism. I mean, he plays cornerback, he plays receiver, but in fantasy, we only care about the receiving prowess. Man, he really shows a lot of flashes of Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham, like some of the elite profiles in the game. And I don't know this to be fact, but it seems like the Jacksonville Jaguars are really excited about using him as an offensive weapon. I mean, they've been labeling him as the Shohei Ohtani. Shohei does both. He hits and plays and pitches. Sounds like Travis Hunter is going to have a whole lot on his plate on offense and defense. And if he can just be on the field enough for us to thrive in fantasy football, oh my God, I am going to be drafting him so high in 2025 because the upside is there. And that is another reason why the reigning, defending Heisman Trophy winner is number 2 in my top 10 list post NFL draft. As you might have guessed, the number 1 player on this list is running back from Boise State and Heisman Trophy finalist Ashton Jeanty. The Las Vegas Raiders selected Jeanty with the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft. Last year was a historic season for Jeanty at Boise State. 2,600 rushing yards. He was an absolute monster. He had 151 missed tackles forced and 30 total touchdowns. He brought the Boise State football team all the way to the to the playoffs. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs. Yeah, we're talking about playoffs. Ashton Jeanty is that good. He's got tremendous power for his size, 5'9", 215 pounds. He's really, really tough to tackle. He's able to stay balanced through contact. He's able to fit through very small running lanes and just kind of burst on the other side and really just bring home run ability all to pretty much any play. He has a chance to take it to the biscuit, take it to the house, and find pay dirt. He's got the 3-down skill set. Didn't do a ton in the receiving game last year, but in 2023, he was one of the honestly one of the most dominant running backs in the passing game in all of college football just in 2023. So you put all that together, he's an absolute beast. And Chip Kelly, as the offensive coordinator, he's going to be able to utilize Ashton Jeanty in a massive, massive way. The volume is going to be through the roof. There really isn't any competition in that backfield. The touches are going to be amongst some of the highest in the NFL, and Jeanty will be a stone cold first-round pick in 2025 for good reason. I won't be fading that at all. I have no problem with the price tag that will be attached to Ashton Jeanty in his rookie season, and that is exactly why he was the number 1 player in my top 10 list post NFL draft. And there you have it, my top 10 rookies post NFL draft: Colston Loveland, Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka, Quinshawn Judkins, Cam Ward, Travion Henderson, Tet McMillan, Omarion Hampton, Travis Hunter, and Ashton Jeanty. Head over to southharmonff.com to get everything we're putting down. And of course, get that warp tool, baby, at southharmonff.com. Hit that follow button, hit that like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Peace.